Media platforms. What's going on? Chilling. Oh boy. Again, here we are again. Well, actually, I'm gonna go work out. The second workout for the day. Number 2. Tomorrow will be number 3. Alright. And here we are again with another one from the Homeboy Chronicles. Alright. So, my homeboy sent me this shit about, I guess, this soccer player whose wife trying to divorce him for whatever the fuck reason, because I don't know no context here. And basically the long of the short of it is she tried to divorce him, take half his shit, pretty much on some old, well, I'll tell you what I think about it in a second. Pretty much on some bullshit. I mean, I don't know if it's bullshit. I don't even know what reason he did it for. But the thing that kind of caught my eye off this is the fact that I guess the dude put every asset that he had in his mama's name before she decided to divorce him. And I'm just going to share my thoughts on what I think of this, because my homeboy sends me this shit and he be wanting to know what the fuck I think. And I had some time today. I'm going to go work out. So I was like, fuck it, I'm going to go ahead and do this one because he got another one for me to do later on. Now, since I'm working with no context pretty much, because I don't like to make assumptions, all right? He could have cheated. She could have been greedy. She could have been a gold digger. I am the kind of, I don't even want to call myself a podcaster. I guess I'm a content creator. I'm the kind of content creator that likes to slice things down the middle, all right? I like to look at both sides objectively. Now, one, if you are a guy that is a millionaire that wants to get married, there's nothing wrong with being married. I see nothing wrong with being married. Even if you're the kind of guy that wants to take care of his wife from head to toe, all right? That's your business. But on the other side of that coin, right? If you are a millionaire, multi-millionaire, right? I suggest you do some type of education on what type of, just on marriage in general. I mean like the legal system, right? Because you got to understand something. When you're in these marriages, or just when you go through the process of divorce, the court has a tendency to lean toward the woman's side of the coin. And the feeling I'm getting from this is that his mother probably knew that. Like, the story I'm kind of understanding from this is that, he was younger than his wife. His wife pretty much, I guess, groomed him from when he was young. Now, let's talk about grooming for a second, all right? And I'm going to just share with you my thoughts on grooming. All right? Marques Houston did this same shit, but in reverse. Like, apparently Marques Houston is like 37 and he married a 19-year-old. Look, the way I feel about this shit, God just be sending y'all down here any kind of way. And if God ain't gonna stop this shit, then who the fuck am I to keep saying shit? Well, actually, fuck it. I'm gonna tell you what I think. Y'all niggas that want to date these super young ass women are very predatory vibe kind of motherfuckers, right? And I feel the same way about older women dating younger men. It's just, when it comes to older women dating younger men, the stigma is a lot less, because guys kind of like dating older women to some degree. So the stigma isn't as bad as when it's in reverse. But personally, I think a lot of that... Sorry, give it a second. But no, right? I think a lot of this grooming shit is real big weird. Like, it's big time weird. It's just... Grooming, okay, a 19-year-old dude don't mind sleeping with a motherfucking... I guess, an older woman. Like, guys look at that like a notch on the belt. That's just my personal opinion and my take on it. Like... I think some guys that are like 18, 19, 20, they like, it feels cooler to them to like knock off a 35-year-old or either be dating one. Men kind of look at that like they kind of scored a little bit. Now in reverse, again, I still feel like all this shit is kind of weird, but y'all gonna do what the fuck y'all want to do. Now, I feel like a dude dating a motherfucking 19-year-old. Listen, I knew motherfuckers in high school that were 17 that were dating 24-year-olds because them niggas had cars. Y'all be knowing what the fuck y'all doing. Y'all just don't give a fuck. And then men in the reverse be knowing what the fuck they doing. Y'all just don't give a fuck. I think all of y'all motherfuckers are weird personally. That is my personal take on it. Now, as far as being married to a multi-millionaire. Look, y'all gotta understand what type of spouse you're picking. Like, okay, with y'all motherfuckers, when y'all decide to do these marriages, y'all be so Y'all fall in love the same way women do. Meaning like you put a lot of your feelings in your dick. Meaning like when you marry a motherfucker, you're not thinking of this shit logically. You're just in love. You love a motherfucker. You want to dive off the cliff. And again, being in love is not nothing bad. There's nothing wrong with being in love with somebody. There's nothing wrong with supporting somebody being in love. But you got to understand something. Being married to a person, man or woman, is a legally binding contract that is very liable in court. So again, when you sign a legally binding court document based off emotion, you are going to get the shit that comes with it. Personally, I don't like when people don't think shit through. To me, it annoys the living fuck out of me, especially when y'all be pushing these, she's a gold digger stories. These be grown-ass men that marry women trying to make them trophy wives and then get mad when they do trophy wife shit. This motherfucker probably took care of this woman. She probably didn't have to work a day in her life. He probably set it up that way. And then when she tried to do, motherfuckers want to get mad when a woman divorces a man, even though he put her in that type of life. Look, the way the court decides a lot of this shit, because I have personally been through it myself, when a lot of you niggas get married, you elevate your woman to a certain lifestyle. Just because you want to dissolve the marriage over whatever the fuck reason you want to dissolve it over, she is still held to that lifestyle. And y'all need to start understanding what the fuck you're signing. And technically, you can't get pissed off about it. Because, look, when you elevate a person to a lifestyle and then give them the legal binding, like, okay, you're married to this person, correct? She legally has the power to do this. Just based off or whatever. Meaning like, okay, let's say for sake of argument, y'all going to go rob a bank. Let's put it like that, right? You hand the person that you have mistrust for a gun. You go in first. I wouldn't say go in first, right? Y'all both walking out with money bags, right? Y'all get to a parking lot. Nobody's in that motherfucking parking lot. This woman shoots you in your motherfucking back. That is your fault because you handed the motherfucker the gun to do the shit with. Like, we have a saying in the hood, right? Any of y'all with Glock 40s, y'all know what the fuck I'm talking about. You don't hand a nigga your gun. Like, all that, like, okay, when you got a Glock 40, right? A gun, a pistol, whatever. And one of these street niggas walking to you, hey, bro, let me see your gun. A lot of you niggas are dumb enough to hand a person that you do not know like that or do not have that type of trust. Like, okay, if I handed my homeboy a gun, I know my homeboy ain't gonna shoot me in my back because I have vetted him as a friend to even let him hold the gun. If Huggy hand me the gun, I'm not gonna shoot Huggy. If I hand Huggy a gun, Huggy not gonna shoot me. We know each other. This is the type of shit, the type of trust you need to have for this woman, or just have an understanding for this woman before you hand her that legal power. You need to understand and know who the fuck you're marrying. Now, as far as his mother, look, again, the story that's been told to me, the thing that I've come to understand about this little situation, this woman is older than this guy by a couple years. I'd say at least 10, right? His mother probably knew that. Like, and the thing about women know women just like men know men. Like, when Derek Jackson was out and Derek Jackson was talking all that, suave, Morris Chestnut bullshit, a lot of y'all ate that shit up. Most of us dudes knew that nigga was lying. But a lot of y'all sat there and ate it up. I'm imagining his mother felt the same way. He probably got around this woman, got a whiff of what type of character she was. Because again, women know women a lot better than men know women. And she probably was like, you know what? Nah, bitch, you not finna get over on my son. And the thing about young motherfuckers, you do young, dumbass shit. Hell, I've heard of, what was it, when T.I. was doing the whole hymen thing, when he was like, nah, I gotta check your hymen. Look, I feel like that's a bit excessive, but as a dad, I kind of understand where you're coming from. Y'all motherfuckers in your early 20s, y'all don't be thinking logically, like, okay, a lot of y'all be on some I want to have fun, be silly, fall in love, weird, like wild type of shit, right? His mom probably knew that her son was probably just pussy whipped. Not even necessarily pussy whipped. Just in love and willing to make whatever type of decision based off feeling. You don't need to legally sign a court document from the space of emotion. Like, at least not as a man. That's just my stance on that. That's my opinion. And again, look, man, I don't have a hatred for gold diggers like I used to. Because when you're aware, you don't feel the need to like really be hateful. Look, plain and simple, there are just some women that marry men strictly off the strength of money. And that's the narrative a lot of y'all want me to run with. But I can understand a motherfucker that's probably, I don't know, let's say works at City Tricks. The fuck is wrong with you, dude? I can see a woman that works at City Trends wanting to marry a millionaire and then run off with his ass. And if you are silly enough to do this shit without putting no type of thought in it, I mean, I'm just saying, would you walk down a back alley that you've never been into without a gun and no type of protection? Some jokes write themselves. Look, you gotta understand something. There's a such thing as vetting. Meaning like, look, when I dated my child's mother, had I took the time when I was 21, and again, I mean, even if someone told me, I probably wouldn't have give a fuck no way. That's just the downside about being young. You make silly ass mistakes. If you sit there and you hang around a person for a year or two and just get to know them, you'll understand what type of characteristics they have more than likely, and you can make a pretty educated decision based off that. But I also know a lot of motherfuckers do not make decisions from that place. Like, it's just, I love you, I like you, I care about you, I think you're pretty. That's about as far as it goes for a young man. All right? And again, I get it, because some of y'all need to get y'all shit fucked up for you to understand it. I'm motherfucking telling you, ain't gonna be enough. Some of y'all gonna have to get your heart broke, unfortunately. And the thing about, gold diggers, look, in my opinion, right, a motherfucker that ain't got shit going for themselves, they're really, 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 and I mean really good, they're really good at love bombing people. A motherfucker that needs you for a certain type of lifestyle, them motherfuckers, and I mean men and women, they will lay it on thick as fuck. Oh my God, you're so everything. You're the greatest thing that ever happened to me. You're the best. I love you. A motherfucker that is in a desperate situation will tell you anything you want to hear to get out of it. But again, that's one of those things you learn when you done been around a little bit, done, had a little bit of walking experience, all this other shit. You learn to read people a little bit more. Like, oh my God, I just think you're just amazing. You're the best. And it's kind of like, all right, I hear you. But let's see how your actions match up to your word. But, fortunately, this man's mother stepped in, and I guess, he asked his mother for all his assets. But I mean, look, the man probably was smart enough to trust his mother. His mother probably knew that woman again and knew she was on some fuckery. Like, or just whatever reason they broke up with. Again, I am taking this for face value because he could have cheated on that girl. She broke up with him and tried to take half. Like, the scenario is an open-ended scenario if you ask me personally, right? But again, I know people make decisions and make mistakes. So I try not to be so hard on motherfuckers. But again, when it comes to you having assets and shit to lose, you have to put you have to put the rubber to the road on some of the shit you're doing. Like, because if it hadn't been for his mom, this motherfucker would have been fucked up in the game for real. Look, my dad used to have some of the best advice when I was younger, right? He always used to tell me, if there's a chance that it could happen, you need to be prepared if it does happen. Because chances are it will happen. Look, I understand a lot of y'all like thinking off emotions and feelings. And listen, I understand there's nothing wrong with loving a motherfucker. But what I'm saying is take a step back from some of the shit you're doing and look at the entire thing 360 and see if it's a probable cause that some of this shit. Look, you can't never guarantee nothing in life, but at the same time, you can reduce the probability of some bullshit happening to you if you just take a little bit of time to understand the people you fucking with, the type of motherfuckers you around, and the type of people you're friends with, the type of women you're fucking, the type of men you're fucking. You know what I mean? But I'm finna go start my workout. I've been out here talking long enough. My homeboy just wanted my opinion on this, so I'm just here to tell y'all what the fuck I think. Opinions are like assholes that don't mean you gotta be.